Welcome, everyone.
What would you do if you had my life? Work like me, had them stripes. Would you go hard just to have that ice? But I just fell trying to have that price. Any yo cooking about to add that spice. Nowadays, dudes never had that fight. When it push bill, better burst your pipes. What would you do if you had my life? Work like me, had them stripes. Would you go hard just to have that ice? But I just fell trying to have that price. Any yo cooking about to add that spice. Nowadays, dudes never had that fight. When it push bill, better burst your pipes.
This World Cup outright picks edition of the World Cup Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our World Cup Survivor Pool. $25 entry, winner takes all at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/splash. Welcome, everybody, to the World Cup Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, June the 7th. We are here to have a look across the outright markets for the World Cup. It is nearly time. We're about 72 hours out. Joining me from somewhere in Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Evening, Bazza. How are you?
Good evening. I'm very good. It's not long now, isn't it? It's getting exciting. Are you excited?
Getting exciting. I'm very excited, yeah. I mean, who didn't watch England, New Zealand last night?
Oh, funny enough,
fully enthused for this upcoming tournament.
I did think that last night. I was getting really, really enthusiastic about it all. And then I stupidly watched 90 minutes of England, and Christ, that's fucking drained the life out of me, hasn't it?
Were you out and about today? I saw you did a little YouTube short and you looked like you were outside the house.
I was outside the house, yeah. Chloe was refereeing today in a tournament. So I've spent the entire day in a field for no gain whatsoever while she earns £100. So, you know, fresh air for me, money in the pocket for her.
What you've gained, Barry, is invaluable family time with your daughter, is what you've gained.
Well, I never fucking seen her. She was out refereeing all fucking day, wasn't she? Pretty much. But no, it's all right. I don't mind watching football occasionally, particularly when I've got no involvement, and I'm quite happy just watching random games of football, and nice not to have to think about anything else. On the subject of refereeing, I told you last week, Chloe won Female Referee of the Year for the Nottinghamshire
Very good.
Football League. She went to collect a trophy yesterday, presented to her by a former Newcastle United player, former Nottingham Forest player.
Yeah, I was going to say there had to be some.
West Ham, Aston Villa. So those are the clues. Newcastle, Forest, Villa, West Ham.
Newcastle,
who presented the trophy?
Newcastle, Forest, Villa, West Ham. What sort of age
The
we talking?
clue would be West Ham would be the one most known for this player.
No. Marlon Harewood.
Marlon Harewood's the answer. Well done.
Was it?
Yes.
KL.
Yeah, Marlon Harewood was dishing out the trophies yesterday. So well done. Good answer.
Lonte on Thursday night on the MLB show asked me a baseball question, Barry, that I had no right to get. Like, not just what happened a couple of weeks ago, like the history of baseball. Only 3 pitchers had ever done that. And I pulled one out my arse bars from nowhere and got it right. I can't miss at the minute. Absolutely cannot miss.
That bodes well for this upcoming World
Cup. I mean, so I haven't done a fat lot this weekend. I took sort of yesterday off. 8 stakes. and I actually watched the last town in Yuma County. Sorry, the last stop in Yuma County. If anyone's watched that with a family, bit of a quirky movie. The Belmont Stakes that we'd done during the week had the second bars, the one I picked. Thought it was going to get there up the straight, but the Kentucky Derby winner came over the top and held on, which was fair enough. I mean, it was about 8-1. I did, out of nowhere, give out the winner of the Derby, the English Derby, on our Twitter account about 12 minutes before the off.
I saw that, yeah. You didn't give people much chance, did you?
I didn't know, but do you know what I mean?
9-1 winner's a 9-1 winner.
9-1 winner. I was absolutely delighted with it. I just, funny little things kept going right past. Like, I didn't want to bet yesterday because I thought day off. Like, I just didn't want to be on my computer and doing stuff. But there was one horse I fancied in the morning. Like, and I'm talking little stakes, like a $5 each way. And then when I came later on just to check what was going on, I had more money than I thought. And I'd bet it twice. Like, how often does that happen? So I'd bet it at like 10 in the morning. And then I'd forgotten.
In a minute. I hope you're not using up all this luck in one weekend.
No, this is the problem. I'd bet it again 2 hours later, forgetting I'd bet it the first time and won twice as much. So little shit's going my way, like, so we'll see. I'll tell you what though, Baz, the chat is live and kicking. I will go from the top down.
New names, there's all sorts. It's all going on.
Fefwef is fully oiled up. George is here. Tottenham George. George has been chatting a lot in the YouTube comments. But the first time I believe George has joined alive. John Cullerface, squad number 23. And number 9, Callum's here. Og. It was Og's day at Hexham yesterday. We had the great aborted day out on Cheltenham week. So it was rearranged for yesterday. So I did watch the ogledigital.co.uk handicap hurdle. I think it was a handicap with the illegally obtained £15 from not promoting ogledigital.co.uk the other day, which I blew, by the way. That was one loser I did have. So yeah, I hope that was fun. Robbie Watson's here, Michael Roberts, James Mafia. Further down, Mr. Camtastic is here for the sheep questions. I got no sheep questions tonight. We've had
no new feature. No new feature.
No new feature, Baz. This is I thought this would be busy enough. Let's be honest.
I assume you've been in the lab conjuring something up for a later point, though.
We thought we might not have enough content to fill up half an hour in a group preview. That is the only reason we came up with that stupid feature in it.
It is indeed. And then, lo and behold, we ran up 45 minutes. And
yeah, exactly. Like we're not going to talk shit for 50 minutes. But this one, I believe there's more than enough content.
We've got plenty.
There is absolutely plenty. Go on, mate.
I forgot what I was going to say. So, it might have been listener mail. I've got listener mail. Do you want some listener mail yet?
Let me read this out first then, Baz.
Go on, then.
The Survivor Pool point towards $25 entry, winner takes all. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/splash. Use the promo code SGPN for $20 in quick pick entries. No deposit required. I hope you filtered some of the listener mail, Baz, just because there was a mixed bag. Let's be honest.
I don't take the filters off, so I don't see all the fucking abuse we get.
Oh, okay.
But I don't give a fuck about it anyway, so that's fine. First of all, subscriptions are continuing to go up. Plenty of people subscribing on YouTube and on Spotify, and plenty of people getting in the comments, which is good to see. So keep that going, because it will help us keep our listener mail segment going at the start of this show for a start. Over on YouTube, not a ton of stuff, but Phil just wanted to point out that the alphabet is tough, so we're still getting grief.
It is tricky, isn't it?
Almost a week later, we're still getting grief about the alphabet.
Listen, if you put Algeria, Austria, and Argentina in the same group, I don't know what people are meant to do about that. Do you know what I mean, Baz?
It was a challenge. It was a challenge, that one. Over on Spotify, Ryan Noy is shouting out Harry Kane. Harry Kane saying he's the fittest he's ever been in his career. And as a Tottenham fan, Ryan says that's saying something. He reckons Harry Kane can do it all this tournament. So I think Kane does look to be in the best form he's ever been in, doesn't he, at the moment, both for club and country. So hopefully that bodes well for England. And Joey Chandler Ross, I'm assuming that's a Friends reference, said keep up the great work, lads. Yeah, it is. I mean, it might just be his triple barrel.
Go out on a limb there, Barry.
Who knows?
Hot take.
But anyway, he's just saying keep up the great work. He's been loving the content, so that was nice. It's always good to read the nice ones out. There is another piece of listener mail from Izzy V in the Spotify comments, but I'm going to hold on to that one because it's actually a prediction, a pick, a big price pick, 100-1 pick. But it's a 100-1 pick that I've got in my notes for tonight. So that bodes well. Izzy V likes it and I like it, although I've got it at a shorter price. So I'll pull that one out of the bag a little bit later.
Well, that's something. So the groups are all done. If this is your debut joining us, we've done the 12 groups. So group winners, forecasts, make, miss the next round, all that. If you need to catch up, by all means, go and do that. This is going to be outright picks. We'll do the £1 million show tonight, which is our favourite. I don't know if anyone else is on it.
Tomorrow night.
Night. What did I say tonight?
£1 million show tomorrow night.
Monday.
Yeah.
And then we haven't quite decided when we'll do the opening round picks, but we'll be carrying on.
$1 million pick, for anyone that doesn't know, is our episode where we give ourselves a mythical £1 million and spread it around willy and nilly to see who can come out with the biggest return. So yeah, it's always a fun one.
We have been keeping up to date with the international results as we've gone along the last week. A bit of a mixed bag this weekend. Saudi got a nothing win over Puerto Rico. Canada, Republic of Ireland 1-1. And like we have said, we're not prepared to read a ton into this. But Canada, Republic of Ireland 1-1 again. Just that's their level, innit? Haiti went down 2-1. Belgium stuffed Tunisia. Belgium have been in good form lately. They've caught my eye a little bit. Portugal edged past Chile. United States 1, Germany 2. It was a good game. There were some good goals. It was a bit feisty as well. That one. Panama and Bosnia 1-1. Again, a little bit progress for Panama. They slid up my charts a little bit. And same with Australia. I was quite high in Australia, who got a 1-1 against Switzerland. Scotland humped Bolivia, scoring goals. Qatar 0-0 with El Salvador was rubbish. Brazil to Egypt 1, kind of went to form. That was about it, really. South Africa got a 1-0 win, but nothing too much. Yesterday, Barry,
ranking game for you, Malcolm.
What?
A quick ranking game for you.
Oh,
would you like to rank the 4 family selections for the sweepstake? So, where all 4 of us entered a sweepstake with one of the football teams yesterday. The draw was made last night. So I have got Mexico.
Yeah.
Sophie got Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yeah.
Helen got Japan. And Chloe got Spain.
Oh. So what am I supposed to rank them?
Just rank them. Who in order 1 to 4.
Spain, Japan, Mexico, Bosnia. There's no real answer to this, Barry.
Well, there isn't, is there? I'm just asking you who's got the best. We know who got the best deal, but who's running in behind, Once
again, Barry, you ably demonstrate why I set the questions or the games on this show.
He's very happy with that Spain pick, though, obviously.
I did the whole tournament again, Baz, yesterday, every single game, because we had briefly touched on the fact that my bracket was slightly shaky in parts, only due to you need to be an absolute genius to put the third place teams in places. But also, having done the group previews, I had teams that had moved around. I had teams that might just, and it's a big thing, team that have moved from 4th to 3rd, like Panama and Ghana had switched up. So there was teams that had moved around. So I did it all again yesterday, Baz, with one eye on tonight as well, because it sent me to a ton of picks. I got all the groups in the right places. So I am fully tuned up. The bracket is now 100% correct. It's bulletproof, Baz. So any questions about the bracket, about a bit of bracketology we like, just hit me up in the chat, because I've got it all written down on paper as well, by the way.
Does it differ wildly from your first attempt?
No, and that was a promising sign. It was the 3rd place teams. Like I say, I had a couple. Let's say Panama big in one. Ivory Coast. Cape Verde being another one. who went through. I think I switched around some of the Group D players. The USA made it back in. They were out. Germany slid down the rankings a little bit, but it didn't differ wildly, Baz. There were the games like the Argentina-Uruguay second round game, Spain v Austria. Most of those held up. So there you go. Right. We'll get stuck into a few of the main markets. Let me tell you first that the Circuit, the greatest NFL handicapping contest, is back better than ever with $30 million in prizes. 20 million for Circuit Survivor, 6 million for the Circuit Millions, 4 million for the Grandissimo. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere using the official proxy football contest proxy. Head to footballcontest.com, promo code SGPN to get $50 off your proxy fees. Do you have what it takes to become a football millionaire? And Underdog is putting up $1 million in their Steal the Pot promotion. Make a pick with the final steals leader and walk away with your share of the pot. Underdog has increased their payouts. 2 pick entries pay 3.5 times. 3 pick entries pay 6.5 times. Underdog's brand new offer. Play $5, get 50 in bonus funds. Sign up with the code SGPN. Right, outright picks then. We start in the winners market. I split this into... Well, actually, the market is split into 4 tiers. We started up. There's 3 teams at the top with a little bit of separation. You've then got 4 teams who are kind of in the 8 to 14 to 1 range, 20s to 33s. And then you've got the dark horses, any dark horses. So the top tier is Spain, France, and England. Spain are 9 to 2 plus 450. The 2010 winners, the current European champions, world rank 2. The group looks like an absolute penalty kick. But my route through after that isn't straightforward. It was all European opposition. It was Portugal, Belgium, France. So that's 3 of the top, 5 in the market? For Spain. What was it? Hang on. Yeah. After Austria, sorry. Yeah. So they get a gimme in the round of 32. Then from the 16 onwards, looked a little bit tricky.
So have you got Portugal in the other side of the draw to Spain?
Portugal plays Spain. No,
you've got them in the same side, sorry.
Yeah.
So where have you got...
I don't know if there is sides, Baz.
Eh?
I don't know if there is sides of the draw.
Well, they go down a route depending on where they finish, don't they?
Well, of course, yes, that's how it works. But I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
what I'm asking is, have you not got both Spain and Portugal to win their groups?
No.
Right. That was the question, because I've got Portugal not being able to meet Spain until the final.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's how it works. Yeah. So no, I haven't passed. Whoa, you've put me off there. Have you just put the new background thing on there?
Yeah.
That's nice. That
it is. Yeah.
Touch.
I meant to do it before the show and I forgot about it, so I just done it on the fly.
Because now, like a young Steve Jobs, I've been making some of my notes on the computer. I have to flick off this screen to look at my notes, and then I flick back, and it was all jazzy. The midfield's the key. It looks very silky, doesn't it? Rodri, if he stays fit. Gavi, Pedri, Mal and Williams on the wing. I still think, and this could come back to bite me on the arse, that the lack of a centre-forward is an issue. I'm not as high on Oyarzabal as everybody else is. He has scored a ton of goals. I get it. No real issue with Spain at all. They're worth the place at the top of the market, but they're not my pick. France at 5 to 1. Runners up last time out. FIFA ranked number 1. The home of the 2 times Champions League winners, who are well represented here, PSG. We've got Mbappe, Elise, Dembele up front. Doué is an absolute Rolls Royce. A couple of wild cards in there as well. Barcola, Cherki. The centre-backs are solid. Upamecano and Saliba. I think the weakness is at full-back. Malo Gusto, Luca Digne, kind of mid-level Premier League players. The group's quite tricky. So France will need to be on this from day one. Senegal, who they played in 2002, and Norway are well thought of by some. I prefer France to Spain. The route through for France, to me, looks a little bit better. I've got them playing Turkey and then the Ivory Coast or maybe Germany at a push. So France at 4-1, at 5-1, stand out for me. I think England are too short, the third team in the 13-2 plus 650. Harry Kane, the standout player, as was it Noy mentioned on Spotify. But you hold them up player for player with Spain or France, and it just exposes them. Saka, Rodgers, Watkins don't move the needle like Yamal or Dembele. I think it's possible that Rice and Anderson click in CDM. That'll give England a strong base and make them hard to beat. I like Gahey, James and O'Reilly as players, but I think there's more ceiling for the future there, especially with O'Reilly, Livramento. I don't know how much depth there is, and I just don't think it's world class right now. And I'm not convinced by the manager, Baz. I'm quite uninspired by Thomas Tuchel. The losses to Senegal and Japan in the last year stand out. The draw with Uruguay, even at home, it just leaves enough doubts. The route through the last 16 looks fine. Then, as you'd expect, it gets complicated. So, not ruling out at all. I just prefer, of the three, France, Baz, would my pick. They're my outright pick to win the World Cup. France at 5-1.
Well, I've dodged all three of them entirely. I think they're all too short price. And if odds weren't a factor, then who do I think will win the World Cup? I would go for Spain, personally. But at 9-2, 4-1, some places, I just think they're unbackable at that price when they've got where you've got France. They're probably going to have to overcome France in the semi-finals to get to a final. And in such a wide open tournament where I think there are 5 or 6 genuine contenders, I thought Spain were far too short. I didn't like that side of the draw, which is odd really, because the bookies obviously do. The bookies think there's a clear split in terms of, if all the favourites win their groups, then Spain and France in the top half of the draw will probably have the likes of Belgium and Netherlands to overcome. Whereas the bottom half will have England, Argentina, Brazil, Portugal. It looks like it's a bit more stacked if they all win the groups. Obviously, it's a big if. And it's clear from the prices the bookies prefer that France-Spain side of the draw because they're my two clear favourites in the market. I think it would be a surprise if France or Spain don't get there, but I just couldn't take them at those prices. At the bottom, I think it's less predictable. It's a bit more open. England at 13-2, I agree, feels a bit too short because I don't rate their chances any higher than the likes of Portugal, Argentina, even Germany. That's the sort of bracket I would put them in, as opposed to, like you said, that they don't match up against the likes of Spain and France. So 13-2 definitely feels short for England. So whilst I fancy Spain, I couldn't pull the trigger at 9-2, and I think the value's in that next tier of teams. For me, I like Argentina again. They aren't a fashionable pick this time round, despite winning it last time, and winning the Copa America since. They are 4 years older, and they might look like they've got a bit of an aging squad, but I think they've freshened things up enough. With the likes of Nico Paz, Almada, Simeone coming in. They've got some fresh blood coming in from the last tournament, and I think they've got the right balance there. And more importantly, they've got the experience of going deep into tournaments and coming out as winners. That winning habit counts for something. They've been there and done it in the last 4 years in knockout competitions. The route through to the quarterfinals for me looks straightforward. And I just think they're being underestimated a little bit in terms of their price. I think they look better value, given there's a good chance they'll dodge France and Spain until the final. And at 10-1, you've potentially got an offer to cover that later on if they were to get to a final against one of those. So if you ask me who I think will win the World Cup, Spain. But who am I backing to win the World Cup? It's Argentina. So my pick is Argentina at 10-1.
All right, fair enough. That takes us into the second tier of teams, which we'll get to. Michael is telling us that no team's ever won the World Cup with a different nationality manager. That's a good start. Start of the night. Og's agreeing with you. Og's taking the field against the top three. Og fucking loves an angle. There's an angle to be had. Og's your man. And out on a limb goes Fef with the England red card in every group game. Those who don't, learn the lessons of history are doomed to repeat its mistakes or something. I think's what Fef was getting at. England red cards. James Mafia One Spain. So far, no help to anyone as we all take different teams. Tier 2 here. Brazil in at 8-1. I just think they're too short. There are too many holes. I don't think they're the best team in South America. I don't know if they're the second best team in South America anyway, either. Two hopes for Brazil. One is at the front end of the pitch, is that they could score enough goals to keep up with anybody. Will Neymar be any good? Don't know. But Vinny Jr. is capable. Rafinha's great. Cunha, capable. It might just be a case of keeping up with everybody else. Now, I love Bruno G. I think you do. Scored last night, actually. They beat Egypt 2-1. But I can't have a midfield partnership with him and Casemiro making a deep World Cup run. The fullbacks are dodgy. The second hope for Brazil is that the presence of Ancelotti play a different, more European style, so less flair, but that could take them further into the tournament. Every stage of the route through looks hard work. They've got Morocco in the group. If they win the group, it's likely Japan. If they don't win the group, it's likely the Netherlands. So Brazil just aren't for me at all. Portugal, a huge part of the reason I don't fancy Portugal is because I don't want to. And we talk about this a lot. You are just allowed not to bet stuff you don't fucking want to happen. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Cristiano Ronaldo's a tit. That's why. But that shouldn't really affect. Actually, Bruno Fernandes is also a tit. So there's two reasons. So I just don't want to back him. I want Portugal to be me little mini hate watch, if you like. Great midfield. Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, João Neves. Two of those have just won a Champions League. Rafa Leão, Pedro Neto. Good offensively, like Nuno Mendes. Then they've got a prancing man-child. Whether or not his age and his club form, his ability to disrupt this team as well. And a big part of my handicap is the coach. I can't have Martinez. I did say he's the worst coach in that group. Led Belgium in 2022. They were ranked 2 in the world. It was a disaster. And I've also got Portugal running into Spain in the round of 16, as we mentioned. So not for me. That leaves us Argentina, Barry's pick, the reigning champs. I don't think they should be longer than Brazil, but they are. Messi's still cleared 38. He canters about MLS. Looks good, but they don't ask anything of him. Lautaro and Alvarez up top. Lautaro scored tonight, actually. Argentina beat Honduras 2-0. Martinez and Simeone. Yeah, there you go. There's another name check. Simeone's a good player. Enzo Fernandez and McAllister, solid Premier League performers, but just finished very similar seasons where their presence did nothing to lift the fortunes of the clubs they were playing for. Martinez's goal is good, but defenders are getting old. The group doesn't intimidate you. And actually, the route through, Baz, for you looks kind to you. The form says Uruguay, Argentina-Uruguay is probably the safest round of 32 play you could make. And then I've got them playing, I think it's Austria or Australia again. I will not learn, Barry, about putting AUS. I think it's Australia. And then possibly Colombia in the quarterfinals. Finally, Germany in this tier, Baz. Outright wins, but they've gone out in the 4 outright wins, but they've gone out in the groups the last twice. I think they're 20-1 shots, not 14-1 shots. The key men for me are either just below top class, Havertz, Walter Marder, Tarsh, Schlotterbeck, Rudiger at the back. Or they've got question marks. Wirtz wasn't brilliant. Musiala coming back from injury. They lost Leonard Carl to injury. Young Bayern Munich kid. Really tough group. Ivory Coast and Ecuador will be tough to beat. If they don't win the group, things get complicated quickly for Germany. So out of that tier, Baz, not interested. Beyond Argentina, what did you have?
No, I wasn't like you, not keen on Brazil at all. Portugal appealed, but I just like Argentina at a better price. I think both of them will end up probably meeting each other further down the line. But I just fancied Argentina to edge out Portugal. I mean, you mentioned Germany 14-1. Like comparing that to England, I don't see much. You know, you've mentioned the players there that aren't quite top tier, and you've done the same for England. Like I would have Germany and England closer in the betting, but neither of them appeal at their current prices.
Okay. So the middle tier, it's Spain and France for Michael. That's the same. Nothing much coming out that middle tier for anybody, really. The next tier, though, interests me greatly, Barry, for a couple of reasons. Kalshi is a real money prediction market, legal in a ton of states. Lots of trading options for your favourite sports. New Kalshi customers get $10 when they use the promo code SGPN. That's KALSHI, promo code SGPN. And Rhythm, your official data tool for dominating NBA, MLB, WNBA, golf, and the World Cup. Let Rhythm's models help you cash in or build your own to dominate the books. Get a 7-day free trial to tail the models. Looking to go premium, the promo code is SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm, use the promo code SGPN25. So, into tier 3, sort of 20s to 33s. The first thing I'm going to do is dispel Norway as the worst 25 to 1 shot there has ever been in any sport, any market, any odds, any fucking anything. Late 1-1 draw tonight with Morocco. They should be in tier 5 with Canada and Austria. Now, I get that I might be making a mug of myself. I could be sitting here in 6 weeks' time deciding whether I can go on with the Premier League show when Erling Haaland's waving the cup over his head. The comparison was a mid to bottom half Premier League team who've got a really good goal scorer. They're out in the group stage after a 1-1 draw with Iraq. So Norway, no thanks. Netherlands, are fine. The price reflects the chances pretty accurately. 20 to 1. They've got enough good players to be competitive. Van Dijk, De Jong, Depay. They didn't beat Poland home or away in qualifying. They haven't beaten Italy or Bosnia recently. Drew with Ecuador in March. Lost to Algeria last week. I'm just not drawn to them. They're all right. Quarterfinal v France might be the end of the Netherlands. I prefer Belgium to the Dutch. Belgium 33 to 1. They look a very solid unit. Well balanced. It's the tail end of the golden generation. Mixed with a few others in there. There was more ticks in boxes for them than with the two other European teams in this tier. What catches the eye for Belgium, and this is fairly obvious, is that they keep winning and they keep scoring goals doing it, which are both quite good habits. Very friendly looking draw, Egypt around New Zealand. Then I've got them playing Cape Verde and then the USA. So pretty wide open for Belgium. And finally in this tier, and this is the team that I like a lot, it's Colombia, 33 to 1. 2024 Copa America finalists, good tournament experience there. Finished third in qualifying. Another good effort. Like the manager, Nestor Lorenzo, he took over partway through that, and they've been trending in the right direction since. Luis Diaz and James Rodriguez stand out. I like the fullbacks. We know Daniel Munoz. And Luis Suarez, underrated striker, 38 goals for Sporting this year, playing in the Champions League, scoring goals in the Champions League. The group is tough, but they could run Portugal close here. This is where my Portugal-Spain next game came in, because I've got Colombia winning the group maybe. And then it's Panama and Switzerland, and you get a quarter-final against Argentina. I've got Colombia as the best South American finisher. It's 6 to 1. Playing Argies in that quarter-final. It's 6 to 1 to get out of that game. It's a tight 3-horse race, but I'm not in on Brazil, and I think it's 6 to 1. That's worth a little punt. Baz, anything stand out of that tier for you?
No, I hadn't delved anywhere near as far down as you did. I wasn't expecting us to have a full 25-minute segment on the winner, to be honest. But no, I just...
Oh, Christ, I've got 3 more tiers to go, Baz, if you want to go and make a
sandwich. We'll be here all night. We've got how many other markets to cover?
You would have... I don't know what to tell you, Baz. I did message you about 2 hours ago and said, look at my notes and use them as the format for the show. What about that? Did you decide not to fucking understand?
You carry on with your 4th and 5th tiers. Nobody's interested in this lot as an outright.
Well, they are, because the winner's in the next tier.
We've talked about all these teams in our group previews.
The winner is in the next tier. Bootle's here. Hello, mate. Is he locked in? Is he locked out? Nobody knows. Barry, no one knows.
Nobody ever knew.
No one ever knows. Richard Smith is here as well. He's going with Colombia or Morocco to make the last four. Yes, Colombia is the correct answer. So there you go. Right. Well, another tier here for you. No, this isn't. This is all I've got here, Barry, are dark horses, and honourable mentions. Teams you had to mention. There's only two of them, Baz. So, there's three actually. So calm down. Japan at 50-1. Oh, the other trendy pick. They're the other hipster pick, aren't they? Along with Norway. And I went back and forth on them so many times. I left them out most of my bets. But I am in on them because I think they're great. They're a really good team. I love how they play. They've had this Project 2050 where they're building up to win a World Cup by the year 2050. It was the injury to Matoma, which I mentioned in the group show. But I think I need to give them credit for having more depth than just Matoma. They came to England and played them off the park last international break. They then went up to Scotland and won 1-0. Having just come off the on the back of beating Brazil 3-2. So I'm not betting them. But Japan at your peril. And the final, sorry, not the final, but Senegal, Baz, this is it for me. This is where we land. 125-1. 5 times the price of Norway. Been on Senegal for a while, Barry. I mean, we talked about this back October, November time. Like, large part of this huge price is in the group draw, I think, because the price is ridiculous. They've got France and Norway, but we put a line through Norway. The squad, Mane, Koulibaly, Mendy, Gay and Jai, Ismail Assar's been brilliant. The visual of them hammering England last year in Nottingham stays with you. I've got them through to minimum the round of 16. And after that, you take your chances, but they're 125-1. I think it's absolutely massive. I'll be taking them each way at 125, and then I'll probably go down the ladder to the quarterfinals at least. And my final honourable mention is for Ecuador, because here's the thing, Barry. Ecuador never lose. Never. They lost 2 of 18 in qualifying. They conceded 5 goals. Players you know, Caicedo, Pacho, Hincapié, Estupinian, the wonder kid, Kendry Paez. I mentioned them to go out on penalties at 11-1, which I think is one of my favourite bets that I managed to do out. That's a proper arse sniffer. If they get a relatively kind draw, they could plot their way through. Quarter-final for Ecuador is a possibility at 5-1. We saw it's like, do you remember what year was it Greece won the Euros by never beating anybody?
2004.
That's it.
Mentioned in the chat. I've mentioned it in the chat a minute ago.
That's your comp. Ecuador 2026. And Greece, not win a game, beat everyone on penalties. They're 100-1 for a reason. I get it, but you get a run out of Ecuador, Baz. Any of those dark horses blowing your skirt up?
No.
No.
No, I didn't. Nah, well, because even taking them each way, what you're getting, you've got to get to a final. Then I just don't. None of them are getting to a final, so I'm not wasting my money on 100-1 shot. I don't see anything. I don't mind
Senegal final.
The thing is, we're looking at who's going to win the World Cup at this segment, not who's going to get to a quarter final or a semi final. That's a different thing.
Outright, is that how you're quantifying outrights?
It's an outright picture, but this segment for me is about who's going to win the World Cup. That's where I was at. So I haven't picked any of these to win the World Cup at 100-1.
Well, I came down with 2, Barry, which were France and Senegal, because I've got a France-Senegal final.
That's good. I've come down with Argentina.
You have, haven't you? Right, yeah. Okay then, Barry. Having finished that section, would you like to take us somewhere else, Barry? Where do you want to go?
Yes, let's go in the Golden Boot next. You've got to go for the markets people are interested in, haven't you? Golden Boot. Next up, I've got to get to my Golden Boot notes now because these are all in no particular order. I put up during our group previews. I put up Mbappe the other day, which obviously isn't a fancy pick at all. Top end of the market, 6-1. I don't mind it. I expect France to go far. You've got France to go to the final, and I think he can rack up a few in the group. There's nothing exciting about a 6-1 shot for Golden Boot, but he'll be there or thereabouts. So I did want another contender running for me at a bigger price. And having just put up Argentina for the competition, I think Alvarez looks good value. he's priced up as big as 33 to 1 in places. Messi's 12 to 1 for Argentina. Messi got 7 last time out, but Alvarez got 4. So he wasn't too far behind. I think 4 years down the line, Alvarez is going to carry more of the burden this time. He'll be more prominent than he was. They'll be closer together in terms of their impact, I think, on this team. He's just had a great season for Atletico. Only Kane and Mbappe outscored him in the Champions League this season. He hit 10. And those two, Kane and Mbappe, are there at 6 and 7 to 1. And Alvarez is 4 times the price. Obviously, Messi will be on pens, but when he's not on the pitch, Messi's not going to play 90 minutes every game. When he's not on the pitch, Alvarez will likely take over. They've got a nice group: Austria, Jordan, Algeria, and I think they've got a nice route through. I think there'll be an opportunity for Alvarez to rack up goals early on and then carry on racking them up in the knockout stages. I think he's a great price for an each-way punt at 33 to 1.
Yeah, he was put up early on in our coverage, Baz, and I agree with you. Harry Kane is a worthy favourite, and Mbappe, they're at the top of the market for a reason. It makes sense, but I'm not betting them. Luis Suarez, not the biter, the Colombian striker, the Portuguese league with Lisbon Champions League. Very, very good player. Scored a ton of goals this year. I've just explained I've got Colombia making a deep run, and if they do, he is absolutely the scorer. I've got him as the team top scorer as well. And part of the reason I like Luis Suarez is for some reason they've got Diaz. Diaz makes the market because they've got Diaz as the favourite. Now, Diaz is a great player, but Suarez is the centre forward. He scores the most goals. So Diaz is there really on name brand, and that does open it up a little in the team scorer market, not necessarily in this golden boot market. But the presence of Diaz there opens it up a little bit. So Luis Suarez for me, behind a good Colombia run. Obviously, that's what I'm banking it on. It's 33 to 1.
Yeah, I like Suarez in our group previews as well. He was one I caught my eye, so I don't mind that at all.
Have you got most assists, Barry?
I have got most assists.
Oh, go on then, let's do that one. I've got one play, that's all. Imagine the scene in the 87th minute of the World Cup final, Barry, when Ismail Assar gets his 5th assist of the tournament, enables Senegal to cash my 125 to 1. Ismail Assar's 300 to 1 for most assists, Baz. So, have 50 pence each way. See how you get on. What have you got?
Yeah, I don't mind. I think it's a market where it's wide open, because if you look at it, the last 6 World Cups, 4's been enough to win this most assists. So it does bring a lot of players into it, and I think for me, I'd rather look down the prices for some value. So I've started off, I've got Musiala for Germany at 33 to 1, playing just behind the front men. Might be able to capitalize early with Curacao up first. And I think there's goals for Germany. I've taken Germany's over for goals on the tournament. And I think there'll be goals in that group in particular. So Musiala appealed to me at 33 to 1. And then I had one other. And now I feel like a bit of a fraud giving this one out, because in listener mail this week, Izzy V's jumped in and said, last World Cup, 3 assists was enough for a couple of players to be tied. I thought it was 4 needed in the last one. But anyway, they've gone for Arda Güler to lead the tournament in assists at 100 to 1. Main corner kick taker, set piece taker, and Turkey with a chance of doing well in that group. So I already had Arda Güler in mind, but I've got him 66 to 1. So shop around because you might get a better price than I've got. But Arda Güler for Turkey, you might not get the run into the deeper ends of the tournament you will with others. So you might need him to get ahead early and then hang on. But in qualifying, he got 4 assists. He had 16 assists this season for Real Madrid. And I've got the same thing. He's very much the main man for Turkey and will be on a lot of the set pieces. He got one last night for them as well in a 2-1 win over Venezuela. Decent fixtures against Paraguay and Australia. And at a big price, he might just give you a run. So Arda Güler for me at 66 to 1. And also for Issy V at 100 to 1.
very much an arse sniffer, Baz. That's great. And hats off Izzy V for the pick. Sack Patrol's joined us. Long time network follower and quite new to our show. Reckons we're the second best show on the network. I would disagree. I'd ninth, maybe, Barry. Do you remember when they had the...
Are we behind that Frisbee golf show? Is that...
That's what I was just going to say. You remember the short-lived Frisbee golf gambling podcast? Fucking hell. That was hard. That's hardcore, Baz. That was my favourite. I used to listen to that, and it was nonsense. I had no idea. It was called the Tilted Land Shark for a start, which didn't make any sense. Also, there was the Oscars gambling podcast.
Yeah.
Those two blokes who sounded like they had made up names. And I actually privately messaged Sean. I was like, mate, are those two blokes actually called that? I can't remember what they were. They were called, I was ridiculous. I'll try and dig that out.
On. The Tilted Land Shark. I mean, you know, why didn't it ever catch on?
It was something.
But anyway, thanks for jumping in, Sack Patrol.
Yeah, but he's still, is he? I'm trying to work out. All right, okay. So it's, I think it's Sean and Ryan's main show.
Yeah, the main show. He's, you know, fair enough. We'll take that one.
Machina Joe up from Sydney in Australia. Hello, mate. I think that's a Croatia shirt in his avatar as well. Doku most assists is Michael's pick in Belgium. I've got a nice draw, and we do think they go well. I took Doku was I think the Belgium top team scorer in the preview show. Yeah, right. Let's have a look what else I've got. I have got, Barry, the highest scoring groups. Again, we did cover this on the group shows. But having gone through every game again yesterday, I've worked it out, Barry, scientifically.
So have I.
And I've got, it's a tie with 19 goals between Group G, which is the Belgium group we've just talked about. They're at 14-1, Group G. And then Group J, which is Argentina's group. I do think all four of those teams are front foot teams. They're going to be a little bit more attacking than people are giving certainly Algeria and Jordan credit for. So 19 goals. So dead heat between Group G, Belgium at 14-1, Group J, Argentina at 8-1. Have you got anything along those lines, Barry, in those markets?
I've got a group, but it's a different group to either of those groups. I've gone for Group F, which is Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia, which doesn't stand out as for anything in that group, really. But I think the temptation in this market is to go and take one of those groups with one of the really weak sides on the assumption they're going to get battered 3 games in a row. And I don't think that usually works out like that. I like the idea of taking a group that looks a bit more balanced and has a bit more potential for some competitive matchups. And this group's got teams whose games were good for goals in qualifying. Sweden were one in particular who I used to follow for both teams to score in over 2.5 in their qualifying groups. Japan were also in the highest scoring group in 2022. I think in that year, the average group total was about 15, but the winning group had 22 in that one. I can see less one-sided games in this group, but I can see some high-scoring games. So I'm looking for more 2-2s, 3-2s here, rather than your 3 and 4 nils in some of the other groups. So I like Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. Group F to be the highest-scoring group. It's 16-1.
Machina Joe's mentioning the women referees. There was a female referee in the England game last night.
Yeah,
she was really good. Like she was absolutely a nice, quiet authority about her. Lowest scoring team, Barry, in the tournament. Loads of options here. And what we have said is that this might be a dead heat. You might be looking for dead heat rules if there's more than one team that finish on 0, which is live. I do like Qatar at 10-1. It's basically 2 teams that I'm putting into a full fade here. Qatar at 10-1. But the one team that look like they're in a state of shambles is Saudi Arabia. They're in a right old mess. 20-1 to not score against Spain, Uruguay, and then it's Cape Verde. Cape Verde are pretty tough. I think Cape Verde might beat them.
Sorry, which market are you looking at here?
Lowest total goals, team total.
Lowest team total, yeah.
Lowest team total. Cape Verde might just hold them to a 0-0 if they don't beat them. So Saudi Arabia 20-1. Like I say, dead heat rules. We might get a 3 or 4 way tie, but you'll take 5-1 against Saudi. Baz?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like this market at all, really. I took it last time in Qatar. I think I took Qatar and obviously didn't win that. It's just no fun playing for a team not to score. One goal screws you. And even if you blank throughout, you've got a good chance of tying. So it's hard to try and really get anything out of this one. So I won't be betting this market, but I did put a pick up in our group previews, which was for Iraq to be the lowest scoring team at 9-1. So Iraq would be my pick in the market, but it's not a market I've got much enthusiasm for, I'll be honest.
Go on then. Keep going. What you got?
What have I got? Let's have a look. I have got the golden ball. I've got golden balls, Malcolm. And I don't think you've got this market, have you? So this is all on me. I need to try and find my notes, but now I'm scrolling. Here we go. So the golden ball goes to the tournament's top player. And you pretty much, historically, need to get to the final to be able to win this. 9 of the last 11 have come from the final. The other 2 got as far as the semi-final. And 4 of those 9 finalists also won it. So runner-up in the final, you've still got a chance. Actually, more runners-up have won it recently than winners. So with Spain, favourites to go all the way, and as I say, Spain, I fancy to go all the way. I wanted to take a piece of them for the golden ball. Having taken Argentina outright, I felt like this was a little bit of a hedge against that. So if I do get Argentina going up one side and Spain going up the other side, I've got that little golden ball, because the golden ball market worked out for me in the Euros. I took Rodri at a decent price, and he was the winner there. So that's probably why I've been drawn back to this one, and possibly subconsciously why I've been drawn to Spain. Yamal's the market favourite for Spain in this market. But I wanted to take a midfielder. Now, obviously, the attackers are generally the ones that time. Messi won it last time. Messi was always going to win it if Argentina won the World Cup. Nobody else was ever going to win the golden ball. But the tournament before that was Modric for Croatia, midfielder. We've seen Zidane win it from that position before. And if you look at Spain in recent years, as I mentioned in the Euros, Rodri picked up the player of the tournament in that one. In the past, we've seen players like Xavi and Iniesta win it in the Euros. I think if Spain win it, a midfielder could be the standout player. And for me, it's going to be Pedri. Pedri's the player I like for Spain to pick it up. And it's 25-1. I think we got around 20-1 or something like that for Rodri last time. So I was looking for something similar. But Pedri's your man. Golden ball for Spain. Pedri 25-1.
I hate those subjective awards markets, Baz. They try to make me do the one that MLB show all the time. They absolutely love it. There's thousands of them. And I have to try and take a stand. Total tournament goals, Baz, we haven't talked about at all in the previews. This was, I'm going to say things about it that are going to end up being zero help. I do think it's going to be more open than people are suggesting. And when I say people, it's really just whingy people, miserable people on the socials. Because the books aren't suggesting that, because the books are exactly where I am. And I did work it out with a pencil. Like, I think there's more front teams than in the past, where the lesser nations sometimes didn't really compete. You would get the good teams battering them 6-0, but then that's offset. But I think the better teams will defend fewer goals. So kind of the 6-0s are offset by the other teams defending. So they might score a few more, Panama, but they're going to concede a few less. So it kind of doesn't really help much. My group stage goals were 189, so 2.625 goals per game. Times that by 104, Barry, was 273 tournament goals, which was right in the middle of the three-way market. The Bet365 have got. They've got an over 270. They've got under 270, over 280 in the middle, and I'm right in the middle. So I worked it out, and the answer, Barry, is don't bother. You?
Well, you go in that middle bracket, you can get a price of about 5-2, I think, on Bet365. But I've gone either side of that. I've gone outside of that middle bracket. I think there's an expectation from some of this being lower scoring due to things like the heat and the humidity. And I think that's bollocks, because we had all the heat and the humidity
It is
in
bollocks.
Qatar. Well, Qatar was the highest scoring game in terms of goals per game. It was the highest one for about 10 tournaments or something. same in Brazil in 2014. Those two tournaments have had the highest goals per game of the last 6 tournaments. Qatar averaged 2.69 per game. Brazil World Cup averaged 2.67 per game. Russia in between, that was 2.64. So that's around about where it's at every time. Applying that like you've done, I got to 277 goals, which again is in that little bracket. However, I think it'll go above that. I think having the expanded format with some very low-ranked teams, I can see it going a bit higher this time. The main contenders have all got easier group stages and potential for more goals early on. There's no group of death for those teams this time round. I know on the flip side of that, you've got those poor teams who won't score many goals. But I see it going over. I think, as I say, a lot of people are talking this down in terms of the conditions and stuff. But is it a market I'm going to get involved at 10 to 11? Probably not. But I think it will be a high-scoring tournament. Over 279 would be where I would predict.
Yeah, I worked it out just in case there was some egregious play that you could get on in a big price, and there wasn't, Baz. So yeah, we're 4 goals out between us on what we worked out. Right, all I've got left here, Baz. I've got my top team scorers, and I have got the total team goals over unders, and I've got a big list of either that I'm just going to read out.
Let's go team total goals. Let's go team total. Go team total goals because I've got some thoughts on that. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't got thoughts. I've got a list.
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give you my list. You see if it matches your thoughts. Barry's thoughts. There's a fucking section for you. Team total goals. Overs, Barry. Australia, 3.5. Over Colombia, 6.5. Jordan, 1.5. In brackets, take 2.5 if you can find it. Netherlands, 8.5. Panama, 1.5. And the smash spot is Senegal at 5.5. You can't win a World Cup. You're only scoring 5 goals. So we'll take Senegal on the overs. 3 unders, Barry. South Africa, 3.5. Sweden, 5.5. And, of course, Norway at 7.5, Baz. Did you have any thoughts on those?
Yeah, I had a look at these, but most of my team total picks I obviously put out in the group previews. And when I was looking back, most of them are all unders, which isn't much fun for anyone. But I like on the unders, I've got Qatar under 2.5. Actually, I'd take Qatar under 1.5 because 2.5 is a short price. I would take Qatar under 1.5. And Egypt under 5.5 was one. On the overs, there was only one that came out for me when we were doing the group previews, and that was Germany. I think Germany will get a score against Curacao. And then the over 11.5 is live. I like Germany over 11.5.
Okay. And I'll do the same thing, Baz, with my team. I loved some of these. Some of my favourite picks. These will be back on the £1 million show tomorrow. Heung-min Son, top career scorer. He's 5-2. My handicap it's the same pick as Harry Kane. Harry Kane's 1-2 for England, -200. Heung-min Son is 5-2. Plays centre forward. 2 goals will probably do it for South Korea. That'll do. Lawrence Shankland for Scotland. It's 7-1. In form. Scored last night against Bolivia. Everyone at the top of the market then scored. I was really pleased with myself. After Shankland got the first one, and I was smelling myself a bit. And then McTominay scored. I was smelling myself less. And then Shadham scored twice. So it all sort of balanced out a little bit. But he's still scoring. He scored against Curacao before that. Amin Guri for Algeria. Barry, we both liked him. 5-1. Mo Toure for Australia at 4-1. Luis Suarez at 130 plus 333 in that market made by Luis Diaz's favourite. Ayman Hussein for Iraq at 5-1. And the big one that Fefwef and me both joined was Georgian de Arrecieta for Uruguay. Into 25s, Baz. We hoovered up the 33s. We moved the line on that one.
Doesn't matter. He's not going to play, is he? He's fucked.
What?
He's injured, isn't he?
No. Is he?
He's not going to play. Yeah, he's probably on his way home.
Why have you said that?
Eh?
Why have you said that?
Because he's injured.
Is he? Since when?
Yep. He's been injured all week. There's a question mark. They might be replacing him before the tournament kicks off.
Okay.
Google him.
Oh, well,
but he has picked up an injury, which I believe might rule him out. He's still being assessed. But don't put your money on him just yet because, you already have, so it's too late. But yeah, he might be a non-runner. I didn't have anything in that market. Well, I didn't say I didn't have anything. It didn't make my notes for tonight. There will undoubtedly be some of these in my picks tomorrow night on the £1 Million Show. And obviously, I put out a few of them in the group previews. So yeah, nothing more for me tonight. I think that's everything I've got in my notes has been put out there. Malcolm,
Same, Barry. Everything in my notes. I'm just double checking, but yeah. Recap the main players. Then I've got France outright. I've got Colombia each way, and then sort of down the ladder to semi-final, quarter-final. And the same as Senegal, each way, quarter-final, semi-final. Baz, do you want to just give us your headlines, and then we can get out of here on a rock-solid hour, Baz?
Headlines. Well, Argentina are going to win it. With Alvarez top scorer, that would be a nice one for me. I mean, from the favourites, don't mind Spain, don't mind Mbappe, but I'm looking for bigger prices, better value. I think Argentina and Alvarez offer that better value. There's bets in other markets that I'm bigger on, but they'll come out tomorrow in the £1 Million Show.
Fefwef just pointing out that Lawrence Shankland is 7-2 now from 7-1. I've just checked. I can cash out for a profit pass on my Lawrence Shankland Young Min Son double. So there you go. Right. Beautifully done, Baz. Nothing else you want to tell the people before we let them go? It's been all business tonight, which is fair enough.
It has, yeah. I need to get this out and get to sleep. Malcolm, you'll not believe, well, you probably will believe this, but you'll not like it. I have committed to go down to a gym at 6:30 in the morning to go and do a strength and conditioning class.
You used to do that all the time. You used to go and arse around on the beach, didn't you, down at Whitley Bay? I know.
Yeah. So I'm off to a strength and conditioning class at 6:30 a.m. I'm going for a free trial at the local. It's a posh gym. Like it's not even a gym. It's in a barn. It's like it's a bit pretentious, but you know that's where I'm at these days in my life.
Don't ever mention that again. That'll be it. There'll be no more show. I can't.
I might be dead by 7:30. You never know.
Well, it'll save you, right? Right. Thanks, everyone in the chat. That was a load of fun. I can feel the
busy in the chat. I'm expecting loads of thumbs up and loads of new subscriptions and all of that. But yeah, if you watched it, you liked it, make sure you let us know you liked it. Keep going in the comments, Spotify and YouTube, and you might just get shouted out in our listener mail segment.
The chat curates the vibes, doesn't it, Baz? And the vibes were high tonight. Right, smashing. Same time tomorrow, possibly? No, in fact, probably not. Sometime tomorrow, let's stick with that.
Sometime tomorrow,
the £1 Million
I have a gig. I've got a gig tomorrow night, but it's a short one. It's an album launch gig, and it's an earlier start. So I'll be back at a sensible time. But I think we are possibly going on the main show tomorrow. Is that still happening? I don't know. This is probably a discussion for off.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'll go. We'll let the people go.
The on-air production meeting, Baz, is alive and well. Right. Thanks, everyone. Good luck with whatever you're betting between now and tomorrow. Stay steady. We'll see you down the road. Cheers.